Anywho, salutation, darlings. Zorwing here, bringing you some more Genshin Impact.
The
Uh,
criteria for certificate exams are straightforward enough. What it really comes down to is whether you are willing to put in the time. If you study and practice, then it's really not all that difficult.
uh, Shinobu's speaking their truth. Anywho, last time we were catching some mushrooms. They were friendly. They were friendly mushrooms. Which I can indeed see. Yeah, gotcha. Treasure Street? I remember once I found this one shop that sold spice, and I've never been able to find it again. This one. Is it you? Is this you? Are you? I don't think so. Okay. I'm a bit scatterbrained. Don't mind me, darlings. Mm-hmm. Fleur, hello. Yes. Hello, fuzzy baby. Alright, we got some acting manager. Oh, well, rose custard, baklava. Baklava's good. Candied algae and paradish pudding. Chop. Butter. The ones I usually the ones I've had have had honey on it. Oh, these look so good. Okay, well, I wasn't able to get the spice, but acting cafe manager, you're doing good. Anywho, Inversion of Genesis. The Nightbird falls at the curtain's call. As far as I'm aware, we're finally getting into the Wanderer territory. Also, he's in the goodness gracious word. Can any word exist, please? Right. We can now wish for our dear Wanderer friend. And also, what is her name? I don't know. She just showed up one day. New details. Frozen, got it. Frozen, Guru, and Yanfei. I've already got Yanfei. Increase drop rates. Anywho, yes. We have our Wanderer friend and Frozen. Anywho. Up. Up. There's a teleport marker here. Hopefully it's the right height, I guess. Verticality. Nope. And it was.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay! That means facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tataris Suna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
Okay, but...
Did one of them just mention Tatarasuna? But that's all the way in Inazuma!
Is it?
Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here's just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything.
Still, let's go listen in.
Great! Let's go find out what this Tatarasuna mystery is all about.
I feel like this is a bit out of left field. We show up, we're nosy. Oh, right. It's an art, as per usual, Archon quests and story quests. We pretend we're free to play. Hey, if you can beat everything with the free to play, the game's doing something right? I guess, maybe.
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper. If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about.
Looking for me?
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Well, for the most part, I think.
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
Well, if you don't believe me, I'll go.
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma.
Oh?
This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
But, he was starstruck, I guess?
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kinda lacking.
You don't say, but at least you're aware of it.
Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatarasuna?
We haven't gone there yet.
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
I see.
Sorry I can't help this time.
My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatarasuna.
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive or a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade, but in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi.
What?
Why? Well, no one knows.
I can see
Apart
why.
from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a Kabuki Mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger.
Wait.
Someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
I'm thinking like Kazuha's ancestors' friends use sword. Okay, in Kazuha's story quest, there were his grandfather. I say ancestors, but it wasn't that long ago. Was it his grandfather? No, it was his ancestors. Anywho, generations of Kazuha's past there were these sword makers. They were trying to make the ultimate sword. The sword. I'm curious if that's what this is connecting to.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This Kabukimono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kind of fishy to Paimon.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow! Did I get lucky!
Oh?
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the Government Records Office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago.
Okay, so it'd definitely be ancestors.
Even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Could it be?
Wait, so there are 2 missing people in this story now?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
That was literally what I was saying.
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
There's more.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabukimono was not a human, but a puppet.
Dun dun dun.
A puppet?
The Shogun puppet that the Electro Archon made should be ruling Inazuma with her as we speak. It couldn't be her. Nakunamono has to be the Balladeer. But what was he doing 400 years ago in Tarazuna?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
Yes. I hope she keeps her mouth shut.
No! Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
The Isle of Darkening Clouds, Extract 1. A man arrived in Terrasuna around 3 in the afternoon. From afar, he spied laborers walking along the mountain roads toward the factories, their shoes scuffling along the jutting stones. They walked like people convinced that so long as they reached the fire raging in the mountain's belly, they might extract from it gems beyond price. The mood at the site imprisoned was ineffable, beyond mere description for those not present to witness it. The man barked a cheerful greeting and sprinted to join the procession. There, a towering character who stood half a head taller greeting him, with a heavy slap on the back, and yet his words were filled with respect. Do my eyes deceive me? Sir Mizuyaka! Sir Mizuyaka, I cannot think that the return trip here from Inazuma City could have been easy on you. Mizuka smiled like a young man taking their first steps in their journey. Expression relaxed. Why, Katsuri, Inazuma is the realm of the almighty Shogun. I sailed upon the fastest ship, strode upon the swiftest sea routes. What dangers could I possibly face? And what about the good news? Okie dokie doke. Okay, I'll Jordan. Jordan sold. Okay, hello. I'll keep that in mind. Let's see. And what about the good news? There was some, naturally. The two burst into uproarious laughter, roughhousing with the other workers until the path's end. The young man, dressed in a linen shirt and wearing a headscarf, gazed. A young man, dressed in a linen shirt and wearing a headscarf, gazed into the dancing flames of the furnace before him. Now the flames of a forge are unlike any other, for their intensity affects the resulting integrity of both metal and blade. So too then was the flame watcher an unusual individual. At his fingertips sat a lizard, and on his face he wore a smile. The workshop was huge, and the furnace was deeper within. A reasonable person might think there should have been many working alongside the watcher, and yet he stood alone. Only when Katsurugi and Mizaki strode into the room did the watcher turn. The watcher was Ninwa, army officer and administrator of the Terasuna, born to the Ninwa clan, which served as one of the three pillars of the Ishin arts. Ninwa never argued with his siblings, and was a worthy successor by all accounts. The post he received as a result of his high standing with those in power served as a statement unto itself. Mizaki handed a well-bundled text to Ninwa as he adjusted his expression and said, "It is as you had said, sir. The elders of your clan in the city do not think highly of our plan, yet I still believe it to be worth a try. As such, I have found the proper vendors and procured the materials that you requested." Niwa studied the text and nodded. "We should try some of these new forging techniques, whether Kaitahara says yea or nay." Katsurugi frowned and with a sigh said, "Forging is a precise and difficult undertaking. You know this better than most, sirs. And still you seek improvement each day with terrifying drive. Ah, should my lord Nagimasa hear this, the sourness in his face shall be hard to miss." Niwa smiled, replying, "And how goes the forging of your lord's great blade, Kurisagi?" Kurisagi neither wanted to shame his master nor lie to his two friends, and yet he could not think of any way to deflect, and so he groused. "I see your ears are as keen as your hands, Sir Niwa. The jokes of an unlearned man are nothing before you." Mizaki hid his grin. Upon hearing this, Niwa released the lizard from his hand into Katsurga's palm. Shop has a price lower than any competitor. No, thank you. I do not accept ads. Let's see. Let's see. But just Niwa released the lizard from his hand into Kurisaga's plan. But just as more words were to be exchanged, someone came walking by, their footsteps light with the celerity of youth. The head that peeked in was round, and in the light of the fires looked like an oiled jewel. The young man had placed some boxed food at the side, and nodding, he prepared to leave. Katsurgi called out for him. "What about your share? Aren't you going to eat it?" The young man, upon hearing those words, found himself slightly at a loss. After a while, he answered, "Very well, I'll try it." "You're welcome to the food. We all eat the same fare, after all," Niwa said. The man nodded and left, seemingly deep in thought. Extract 2. The Kabuni Mono was by the coast. Sunset fell to the accomplishment. Oh my gosh, words. Sunset fell to the accompaniment of darkness. The bands of twilight showed themselves not, for in their place did thunder's clouds roll, grumbling the omens of a coming rainstorm. Darkness filled the flesh of the sea, and the dusk blade. Oh my gosh. Darkness filled the flesh of the sea, and the dusk blade the clouds. The dusk bade. There is no L there. The dusk bade the clouds to kneel upon the land, and its supplication mirroring the Cunibono, with knees bent and a face pointed toward the waters. None passed that way, and none knew what he was waiting for in the silence. Time passed, unmeasured and uncounted, till a black cloud suddenly tore free from the sky and began to circle the Cunibono, bearing down on him like a nightmare. Though he was not aware at first, after his studying gaze was refined by time, he understood. This cloud had marked him from the very start. Outbound, a fishing boat drew near, the lights of its bow flickering in and out of sight beneath falling sheets of rain. A mist unspooled across the area, stealing sight from the fisherman. Repeatedly he explained, "Is it but dusk? How are my eyes darkened? Is there anyone that can deliver my boat upon the safe tides?" Like a falling spear, the black cloud reached the bottom of the boat and was joined in its bereft of direction. Like a charging beast, it plunged into the shoreline. Scant steps away, the Cunibono stood idle, slanting his head to study the grand wreck. Not but half an arm was left of the one who had cried out for help, and with a plop, it landed at Cunibono's feet. He crouched to better study the object, straining against the urge to take a bite out of it. What are you? What are they on about? Goodness gracious. Yet he did not, for the dark clouds swirling down had already picked the remains of the ship clean. Cunibono stared at it blankly, like an awakening dreamer. When he returned to himself, the clouds had scattered, as if they had never been there at all. As for the ship, could it have been struck down by a storm? Who was to know? Not the Kabunimono. Hmm. Excerpt 3. Kurisaga rushed to the doorway and shouted, "My lord! Things are ill at the furnace. I have searched for Sir Niwa, but there's no trace of him, and much time has passed since Sir Mizaki left to seek aid, but he has yet to send us any missive. Look, Mizo- Mijoshi. I am dying on these names. Goodness gracious. Mizoki Mikoshi Nagamasa. Mikoshi Nagamasha turned slowly, his face grave as one attending a funeral. He spoke then, his words heavy laden. "I wish not to say such words, Katsugi, but Sir Mizaki may never return." Katsugi peered past Nizama's broad, stiff shoulders. Beyond the windows, the clouds above boiled in waves of black, as if darkness now was the only weather. Was ah, was the only weather, and might even morph into an abyssal beast and devour Tersuna whole. Over 10 people had already perished. That was why Kirisaga recoiled as if struck. Yes, it was coming back to him now, in drips and drabs. That was why they had set out to seek aid. Mizaki had been the first to set sail. The clouds had only just begun to form then, traveling from Terisaka to Inazuma to ask for support. That was normally no great feat, and yet there had been no sign of his return. Then a second ship was sent, followed by a third and a fourth. To the Kunibono himself had departed upon the tides. Under foul skies and ominous fortunes, it had been Katsugi who had brought him back and treated him as his own, and it pained him greatly to see the lad go. Yet the situation in the Tarisuna was severe. Even should they sacrifice more lives, it would have been worth it to gain assistance from Inazuma City. Niwa was gone, and no one could find him. Afterward, Nagisama led a search party into the mountains and the area around the furnace, but to no avail. Folk began to wonder if Niwa might have encountered an accident, but worry soon turned to suspicion, and they wondered if he had fled, unwilling to bear the sin of having caused these incidents. The people grew ever more suspicious, and Nagisama himself strained against the discontent and fury. His face had grown to resemble the rumbling clouds above. Suddenly, a figure flashed by. The presence did not go unnoticed by Nagisama. He drew his blade and cut, though he only nicked the silken veil the intruder wore. For a moment they swayed, and then, like a marionette pulled by strings, they moved behind Nagisama, laughing darkly. Are you seeking someone, my lord? Niwa, perhaps. Nagisama bellowed in fury. You dare address Sir Niwa directly? Yet the figure parted like mist before his falling blade, only to rematerialize beyond reach, but not beyond sight. A ghastly apparition indeed. Was it you who slew my people? Nagisama howled as he charged, held back only by Kurisaga's desperate grip. And his senses returned to him. He realized he was but an inch away from falling into the furnace. It seems the rest of this work remains unfinished from the existing text. However, it is apparent that this is a novel of fantastical, colorful sensibilities born from an imagination well utilized. You say an imagination well utilized, and yet I can't help but think there is kernels of truth to be found.
Oh, and please read my essay draft as well.
Oh. I have no problem reading these. A brief analysis of possible events of historical importance in the Turisama area details the text belonged to a series of works sponsored by the Furiyama's Veil Cutter Project. It has yet to be numbered. Author Kwaba. I said that so wrong. Abstract. The Turisama area has always been a major pillar of Inazuma's smithing industry. 2 incidents have occurred here, and the details behind the first are vague at best. I believe, however, that there might be a hidden history behind the events that transpired. Hence, this paper will attempt to analyze what may have unfolded from the available data. Glossary, tertiary area. Oh, this is... Oh boy, we are going to be here for a bit. Bear with me, darlings. Glossary, tertiary area, writing Gokuden, Mizoki Nagamasa, and Kabune Miko. Introduction. This paper continues and expands the work of my mentor, Mr. Rumi, my mentor, Mr. Rumi, in his report on Happily Hidden Tales of Turisama, and is intended to further this avenue of research. According to the data, the blade forging techniques of Inazuma were originally handed down from the Electro Archon, also known as the Writing Shogun. Using the arts they inherited from their Archon, the people of Inazuma devoted themselves to the process of forging. However, strange rumors that do not quite fit the steely nature of metalwork yet linger about the Terisuma, which was a central pillar of the forging industry, and yet there the Mizuki and Niwa clans, along with the eccentric puppet, served as 3 windows of insight. We need to investigate the truth behind what happened. Body. Strange notes from the Terisama area. The contents are as follows. Perhaps I overstepped, but I think that Sir Nengwan's mood grows better when he forges blades. The obsession to cleanse the stain of the name Mikoshi must eat at him. Also, Sir Kijun discovered the nameless eccentric while patrolling around Mizuki Beach. The inspector brought a certain number of jade steel ingots. Sir Katsuri discussed matters smithing deep into the night with the vice army officer. We at last made a single nagamaki. We call it Zutara Nagamatsa. The inspector was in high spirits, and he had the vice attorney officer. Nozaka was so taken by the beauty of the Dayatara Nagamasa that he drew a picture of it, and he performed a sword dance with the wandering eccentric. 4. And we could not find that eccentric. The inspector flew into a rage and slashed Katasuri. The great blade cut deep into the flesh, cast his own Nagasaki into the furnace's flame. Mizuma could not abide by that order and drew the completely melted weapon out of the furnace. He was horribly burned. 5. Nozuma died that night. I dare say that while Sir Kurtsugi may have committed malfinis, it was out of the goodness of his heart. 6. Kurtzuna hid the Nagamaki and Nozuma's drawings in the arsenal. Nagamasa is harsh, but also knows right from wrong. But even so, he is not amenable to reason. His name indicates one obsessed with purity. Still, I and the households of Torisara have not been blinded by this matter of the Nagamasa's mother, Chiyo. We can trust him. I also remain unwilling to forget the joy of creating that Dayatara Nagisama of creating the Daritama Nagisama with him, and that joy of watching that nameless eccentric person perform the sword dance with Katsurugi. Before we withdrew, we should have divided the arsenal key into 3 parts, one for the inspector, one for the army officer, and one to be left in Sursumi itself to prevent theft. But we were in too much of a hurry, and neither the inspector nor the army officer could be found. So I was so bold as to hide the 3 pieces within treasure chests in Tarasumi. When we get to Inazuma, no, we are in no, not in Inazuma. Oh my God! When we get to the land of the Taritsa, we are absolutely going to Terasuma and looking and trying to find whatever the heck has been left behind. Okay. The 7 notes mentioned prior have been scattered across the Terasuma area. Among the 7 notes, 6 seem to be of good physical integrity, though they all look quite old, while the last one looks more recent. I believe that the first 6 notes and the last are of different time periods, although the gulf in years between them needs to be verified. The contents of the first 6 should also be related to each other, while the incidents mentioned are quite consistent with one another. For me once mentioned in Happily Hidden Tales of Tarisuma, herefore known as Hidden Tales, that in the past, researchers from Sumeru had investigated the cultural histories of Tarisuma and Inazuma. Though the place has fallen into some degree of disrepair and the hidden tales were written, things have improved since the time I wrote my original article. Regardless, what used to be an area of major industry remains Regardless, what used to be an area of major industry remains a place most inhospitable, and residents of Terasuma may be found living and dwelling by the waters. The residents, when questioned, told the researchers of Terasuma's golden age centuries ago, when it was administered by Army Officer Niwa, Vice Armory Officer Misaki, and Inspector Mizoki Nagamasa. Yet the elders among the locals, with deeper ties to the region, also seemed to stress the fact that there were strange rumors surrounding their homeland's past. A great many of these rumors revolved around the yokai, who are so very characteristic of Inazuma's folk histories. A small portion, however, repeatedly mentioned the word puppet. It should be known that puppets are neither traditional nor common yokai in Inazuma. This fact drew the attention of researchers to delve further, and eventually the following pieces of information came to light. A puppet did once appear in Terasuma. Its visage was elegant, its apparel impeccable, and the way it dressed hid all the joint lines on its body. If no one were to mention that it was indeed a puppet, it would be hard to tell at all. Additionally, this puppet seemed to possess special joint lines that would fade with time, potentially even disappearing altogether, which would perhaps eventually make the puppet seem entirely human. The name of the puppet was known almost to none. Some folk claimed to have spotted it appearing around Terasuma, while others mentioned encountering it in the central regions of the area. Some even claimed that it would frequent the beach. Tales spread of it standing beside the sea and gazing across the waters towards Inazuma City. What it was that the puppet was gazing at remains a mystery. We're almost done here. As mentioned earlier, the 6 notes all document a certain nameless eccentric. The eccentric, which can also be read as kabukimono, is usually used in Inazuma to refer to a figure who dresses or behaves in a peculiar manner. It is understandable, therefore, why this character would have left such an impression. Should the pizza okay. Should the people of Terisuma indeed have had a puppet in their midst, incurring mass panic, a good possibility considering the coexistence between yokai and humans in Inazuma at large, when the puppet would have been very likely become a local resident. What is less well known is if the Kabuni Mono is just another title for the puppet, perhaps because it was uniquely dressed to distract attention from its more special characteristics. A workable theory, but one that still lacks enough evidence to support it. Still, it can be retained as an analytical lens of sorts. A list of individuals related to Tsurasuma has been compiled here based on historical documents from Inazuma. Starting from the administrators, the records are as follow. Army Officer Niwa. Full name Niwa Hashi his Hashi 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 he Hishihide Niwa I'm attempting this name. I am so sorry. Full name Niwa Hashihide. He was the inheritor of the Isan art and successor to the Niwa clan. His family, along with the Akame and Karihara clans, were together known as the Sengu. Records show that Niwa was a modest and intelligent individual who displayed remarkable talent in the administration of territory and people. His eventual whereabouts are unknown, but he was suspect to have left the Tarisuma with his family following the incident. Vice Army Officer Mizaki. Full name Mizaki Kano. He was Niwa's second in command. His origins are unknown and primarily assisted Niwa in forging and personal management. He was of affordable temperament and had many friends in the region, including one Mizoki Nagamasa. Inspector Mizoki Nagamasa, the successor of the Mizoki clan, adopted son to Oni warrior Mizoki Siyu, and the younger adopted brother to Mizoki Michiro, also known as Ikura the successor, with his mother missing and abandoned by his brother. Narisara alone bore the family names, striving daily to wipe the shame from their history. The records state that Mizoki Nagamasa was a stubborn figure. He was also noted to be a person of moral value and integrity. It has been noted in various records that he practiced forging swords for self-cultivation and specially requested special instruction from Mizaki to further his capabilities. However, after the famous blade Daritara Nagasama was forged, he used it to slay his subordinate Katsuri for reasons unknown at the present. Poor Katsuri. Oh my gosh, this kid, poor him. Subordinate Katsurgi. Katsurgi's full name and background remain unknown. Despite all the materials I have sorted through, I have yet to find any more additional information regarding him. As one of Mizoki Nagamash's subordinates, he was a loyal warrior who had been saved by Nagamasa in his youth. From then on, he swore to stick by his lord through thick and thin, and to give his life in service if it was asked of him. I think I know what blade was forged. The one that the one that had a soul. Oh gosh. Had a cough? Let's see. Kabukimono. Full name unknown. Background unknown. From the many sources I have compiled, combined with Rumi's personal observations, this character might have been the puppet mentioned in the rumors. The Kabunimono was a figure of fashionable grace and gentleness, According to the hidden tales, he was brought back to Tarisuni by Katsuragi and became a member of the community. When the Kabuni Mono first arrived in Tarisumi, he knew nothing of cleaning, cooking, or any work of meticulous nature. The locals taught him their skills over time, showing him how to clean his attire, dance, and craft small trinkets. Records state that the Kabuni Mono was there when the Deritana Nagasama was forged. Though his trail ends before Mizoki Nama slew Katsuragi, I believe that the Kabuni Mono was indeed the aforementioned puppet, and that he quite likely had a hand in Katsugi's death. Seems the rest of the paper remains unfinished. One thing's for sure, though, a lot of thought was put into it.
Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it. Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Yeah, it sounds more like a novel. Has this guy ever written an essay before?
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
I'll leave you to it.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay.
Good luck, good luck.
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
Of course. So, our dear balladeer.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the balladeer, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh?
Probably.
After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it?
Yes, that's why I'm so glad that you're saying it so loud, Pi.
If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in...
What's wrong?
Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like...
There he is.
the balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
Oh my goodness. Well, we do know that he can project his image, as we saw, in a way. Come on. I love the music. This so far has been one of my favorite places to just exist in. There's the balladeer.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Nahida, bad news. We just saw the balladeer strolling around in public. Did he escape or... Ah! It's him!
Sure enough. you're here.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana? Aren't you supposed to be Lack Death?
I've been calling it Sanctuary Sanctorum. I was wrong.
I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the Balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me. A deal? Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about.
Not so quite, Mr. Edgelord.
But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down? But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us!
For a moment, I had completely forgotten that this dude has been taunting us, and our character is very salty. I live on the internet, sir. People love our little edgy boy.
As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the Balladeer.
Of course.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you, considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position. Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond.
Ah.
Wait a second. Farmer? You mean he's not a Harbinger anymore? I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
So he tossed you out like trash.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the Harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be.
Really? What a crying shame.
Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously! Nahida, don't listen to him! Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch. Nahida, are you serious about this? Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit.
For me?
Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul. Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that? Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point.
Oh my gosh. I had gotten a serious, theory thought about the twins. And why one's considered a descender and one's not.
It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect. The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me.
So, somebody who knows what they're looking for could find it in, say, a small fraction of the time.
So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information and should be able to find it more quickly.
And what if he lies to you?
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him!
I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns.
Our sibling.
As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it.
Thank you, Nadia.
It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it.
Precious child.
Paimon's still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to help?
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned.
Oh?
Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease.
So she's willing to trust him, but not blind to the fact that he can be a great danger if he so chooses to be.
Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside.
Got it. Glad I'm able to help.
Great. Thank you. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
All right.
Wow, it looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Yeah, it's a lot less intense. Hello, Balladeer.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Nadia sent me to babysit you.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards, but right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Saucy child.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through.
Okay.
I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
Understood.
Fine, let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are gonna be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going.
I'll lead the way.
Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
We're good.
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
There's no need for all the biting sarcasm.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow! So this is the inside of Irminsul.
Quite different from what I imagined.
Ooh! Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
No kidding.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Tevat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Because he's so snarky about it.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so say we did go running off in here. What would happen? What are you smirking at?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
Fine. A little sapling grew.
These sapling things have spread out.
Fragments dissipated.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
Station machines look like we've been transported to another path.
It looks the same in every direction.
This place is unusual, but it seems that the balladeer is more experienced than I think it said.
No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little?
Maybe. Scaramouche.
We're here.
What a huge tree!
This is the center of Irminsul. All the information in the world is flowing through it.
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The balladier's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
Anyone would. He hasn't put up any resistance, and he seems good at working on the front line. Maybe he had a similar role in the Fatui. First Aquaba and Sardawana's stories, and now this. What a strange individual.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Okie dokie.
Will do.
For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk?
Sure. Nahida, is this a telepathic conversation?
Yes. I've also invited Paimon to join.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
Ah, yes. The Paimon so easily entertained. I'm guessing that you don't want us to disrupt the balladeer?
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
Yep.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
Yes, and he seems to excel at doing odd jobs for others.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand.
Ah.
Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers.
Is it about his past, the betrayals, and the other events in Inazuma?
Well done. Smart and attentive as always.
Actually, I caught a glimpse of a few things when I ran into Hypatia at Paristia. Let me let her know.
So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Well, he might try to pretend otherwise.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatara Suna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatara Suna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
Tell her about the story that they're
Oh?
writing.
How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
So the Gesse got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatara Suna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
We're very entertained.
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation.
We have every right to keep certain things confidential.
Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait, how did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you.
Every conversation with you is hard work. Your attitude is better than I thought.
Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh? Wait.
This light, it looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement! You have to share it with us!
Shh. Just wait.
Anonymous.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
The name Numa was the man in charge of this Terrasuna. Plus, he belongs to the lineage of the Ishin art.
Whoa!
Into the memory we go.
I have been in Tatarasuna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatarasuna is a warm, welcoming place. Like a giant village. People are gainfully employed. Their lives have purpose. They are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatarasuna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow.
We've been collecting crystal marrow, so what do you mean disposing?
The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown. All passing on their legacy. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Why was this dude, held off screen for so long? It's not like we're gonna recognize him. Or maybe we're supposed to. I have no idea.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatarasuna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma, and it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected, because I didn't want to speculate, and I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way.
Oh?
What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope. But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Dude is suspicious as all hell.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. and I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Dude, I've known you for all of, like, a minute, and I don't trust you.
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatara Suna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment.
Just stab him in the back.
A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatara Suna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
Oh.
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human. You're just missing a heart.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this? Why go to all this trouble?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully controlled experiment. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
Is this like one of the older forms of the Doctor? Is that why his face is hidden?
The Fatui? Who? What do you want?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise.
It's not that it's not him dying that's making him angry. It's the fact that you're hurting his people.
My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as one of us. He has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones who think like that are people like you.
God damn.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to defeat.
Bruh, the doctor has an ego a mile long.
I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a pity. Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Hey, are you alright?
Dottore. Dottore!
Oh.
Good. Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine?
I'm afraid so. He was one behind the Terrasuma incident.
But why did we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so. But it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
This betrayal was a lie that he believed for hundreds of years. Was this part of the doctor's experiment? If the betrayal never happened and it existed only in his imagination. But where does this leave him?
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now.
Okay, let's go over there.
You need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabukimono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as the mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the balladeer became the main test subject. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it has protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatarasuna without looking back.
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
When we fight the Tori. Oh, I can't wait for that fight. Being betrayed and abandoned by a close friend is sure to cause great resentment. Now we know it was behind his decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden 100 years ago. But it doesn't mean that vengeance was the right decision.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Sometimes...
Tori, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Hello.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend.
I just want to make sure that it doesn't affect the plan.
It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, aren't you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Teyvat.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Well... not unexpected, but still. Thank you.
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Huh? About what?
Ditto, about what?
The reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world.
Oh?
Plus, he only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
Summoning of what?
The heavens responded?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your brother for a time.
The Jester, another Fatui Harbinger. Why?
I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me.
What do you want to know?
Give me your hand.
Okay.
Can you hear my voice inside your head?
Yes? Are you trying... are you trying to brainwash me?
No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past?
Why would you ask that?
Done.
Huh? What the? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
Nothing. I was just thanking her for helping me.
That look. Did he see me hesitate? But that's because I know about Greater Lord Rukadavat. Oh, I think by
So
not
long.
denying it.
I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Balladeer, stop. I want me to stop him.
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again.
You'd be surprised how the world works.
From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabuki Mono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow.
That's not how it works. That's not why. That's not how history changed.
Oh no, he's really gone.
Oh, can you hear me?
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power.
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
Where the heck did he go? It's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
Yeah.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here, even though I'm not sure I can solve it. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
I am running out of orange juice. Like I said. Oh, so apparently this is just our room. My level of salt is undeniable. The fact that this happens and continues to happen infuriates me. You know, I was thinking about doing all of the little side quests before. Oh my gosh. That's a question. What do I want to do? Do I want to... What do I want to do?
Hello, traveler. Have you ever heard of a moment of dreams?
I guess we can catch this moment. Moment's dreams, what's that?
Oh, that sounds like some kind of sweet drink.
I'm afraid not. It's the name of an event we started to hold regularly.
Dreams have become quite the hot topic in Sumeru, and many people are excited to share the dreams they've seen at night. The same goes for me. The last time I dreamed was when I was but a little child, so I can't help but feel excited and nostalgic about dreaming again.
Oh, right. Everyone's able to dream again now.
Yes, we organized an event to give everyone with new dreams a platform to freely share their experiences. And thus our event, A Moment of Dreams, was born.
So, it's kinda like a fireside chat.
You could say that. We hear all sorts of wild and fabulous stories every day. Really, why not have a listen for yourselves?
I can understand your curiosity.
Yeah, but to us, dreaming is as normal as breathing. Wait, but if there are free drinks and snacks involved, then Paimon might consider it.
Oh, really? So you mean you've already seen many dreams?
But no need to get so excited. It's really nothing special.
But to them it is.
No. We need experienced participants like you to share your experiences with dreaming. Please allow me to address you two as dream experts.
There's some things that expert sounds kind of weird. There's some things that expert just doesn't seem to go with.
Oh, expert? Paimon kinda likes it.
Now you seem interested. Please, follow me to the meeting place. It won't take much of your time. Rest assured, you'll find all the drinks and snacks you'd like there.
Wow, how accommodating. Sign us up. But wait, Paimon's getting ahead of herself again. We should see what the traveler thinks first. Why aren't you saying anything?
You're the boss. I didn't really think I have a choice.
Alright, hurry up and take us to be dream experts.
Very good. Follow me then.
Do you know what's the most important part of being an expert?
Well, I suppose it must be accumulating knowledge and sharing your experiences?
Nope! It's all about the title! From now on, Paimon will be known as Paimon, the Dream Expert!
Oh, okay.
He seems so confused and so concerned.
Local specialties in Sumeru.
I was also wanting to do this. So I'm gonna compromise. I'm going to do neither currently. I have 6. Pass with an earning soul. So I have 6 intertwined faked. Let's see if we can find the Balladeer. Reborn from ashes reborn. What? Ah, okay, Tanari. There we go. I was about to say. I mean, that's still a crazy pull. Dude. Yeah, because, like, let me check the history. I mean, it's gonna be awful, or after this. So, I got him right there. Wait, no, that's Yaemiko. Yeah, no. I literally gotten Yaemiko just in the last one. And then, shoot, first and when I get to Nari. Oh, this is both wonderful and heartbreaking. That's not what I meant to do. available at the time. Alright. Oh, let's see. Yeah. We still have a chance for Yanfei. Not who we're looking for. Yeah, Yanfei's completely. I've got her constellation completed. Third time's the charm? I mean, at least I got a constellation. It's quite literally a constellation prize. Okay, little Goro, there you are. And his constellation's almost complete. Oh boy. Curious, constellation-wise, how is everyone? Why do you have a second one? I've gotten a few catchings. Mona. Yeah, Mona's 5-star. See, look. Most of my 4-stars. I think pretty much all of my older 4-stars have have all constellations. 5, 5. Yeah, for them. It would have been cool if they kept releasing her year after year. And then please, the last 5-star of this bunch. Which you have 4-star wise. Well, aside from the newer ones, I use newer very lightly. I got super lucky with Candance. I'm gonna have to use Candance in one of my next days. Let's see. Let's see, I'd need less than 600. That is less than 600. So, wait, no, I wouldn't. Less than 600. I am blanking. Alright, last pull. If I don't get him, I don't get him. Oh dear. Looks like the Balladeer is going to be harder to find than expected. And that should be the last constellation. We also didn't get up. We also didn't get frozen, so. It's doubly disappointing. Why did I? For a moment, I just completely blanked. You're forced, aren't you? Yeah. Does she have nothing to say? Huh. Oh, there we go. Nia Durley. About the Balladeer. Okay, level 4, and of course I just got her, so there are no friendship. Actually, why was I thinking that I could? I'm just so used to having like everyone be at like max friendship. I'm just like, da 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 da. It must be here. Anywho, clickety click. What are you talking about? Yeah, no, I'm basically calling it in. And next time that I come back, I'm doing the TCG because I am curious level 9000 about what the hell is going on there. But I'm saving that for next time. I have to get up early tomorrow because I just remembered. Oh boy. $1,600. No. Yes. Okay, so I have a few more 10 pulls. I was like, wait. Yeah, okay. I know how to. Why? I don't know. I'm bad at math. For some reason, when I was looking at that, I was like, okay, I only got like 1 or 2 10 pulls left. That's all. Okay. One more. And yes, it's literally for... I don't expect the Balladeer to show up for a long I've been getting atrocious luck with my wishes. Frozen! Apparently she heard me saying that I didn't know where she was. Ah, she's a bow user. She's adorable. For a moment I thought she was going to say something. I don't know, but 90% of the time I don't like it when characters talk. Not out of anything malicious. Their voices just throw me off. I hear them speak and I'm like, but why? Ah. Oh, I mean, that was sort of given.
Oh.
Shush, dearie. And I need to fight that thing once, which I don't have She is a very smart cookie, apparently. So for a smart cookie, you need a good bow. Hmm. I can actually look at the final form. Okay, this bow, the sacrificial bow, will not go with her. Favonius Warbow is nice. But I like this one. She looks adorable. Pretty lady gets a pretty bow. It's only one, but still. Increases elemental skill and elemental burst damage. That's just a good one. A bow that once served as an extraordinary instrument. It is no longer capable of getting people up and dancing. You don't say. Alright. You win some, you lose some.
Here's the Academia's Distinguished Scholar Award. This is the Sumeru Puzzlers League Lifetime Achievement Award. And there's something from the Synopsium on Ruin Mechanisms. What do you think? Got any interest in becoming my student? Just as a note, I am from the Haravatat Darshan. You'll get lost if you try to find me in the halls of Kasharawar.
Smart cookie indeed. Triangle eye pupils! I love everyone. And you can see a world in their eyes. But please explain to me. What are they when they have fancy eyes? Like, is she wearing contacts or are her eyes just triangles? Even Kujasara's eyes are circular. Okay, Tao, of course, didn't. So, I'm curious if there's any meaning. Like, her eyes are like white, her pupils are white. Albedo has some big eyes. Actually, no, good God, Albedo, your eyes are actually huge. I'm like, look at John Lee's tiny eyes, and then we just have Albedo with these anime eyes. I wish I could zoom in just a bit more. Interesting. Okay. So whether green or red, her eyes still look normal.
I created another universe.
That's what we're doing. Profile. See, he has this. Like, I was like, I'm genuinely curious. Why do some people have fancy eyes? Kokomi, she doesn't have pupils at all. Squeak a fish. Like, you would think that the non-humans would be the ones with the fancy eyes, but it rarely is. Okay, Kaya's diamond pupils probably because he's from Conria. Triangle! Why are your eyes triangles? And my plan came into fruition. For a moment I was confused, but that must have been the Mora, yeah. Or this was another reason I wanted to do the T This is another reason I want tea. Sail pod, create. Oh, 10 furnishings. Is that completed? Ley line, domain, use resin, defeat bosses. Elegant. No, I'm hella short on that. Yes. Okay, just. I guess just stick around for a bit. We're basically done for today, though. I know I said such dreaded words as we're done. A sorrowful thing indeed. It has been so long since I've actually decorated my Serenity pot. I just keep gathering items. Oh my god, lag.
This robe.
Oh my gosh, Dawn. Hello! You caught me literally at the end. I was just finishing up. Oh my gosh, keep furnishing. Yeah, no, I was. Normally, I would be content to continue, especially considering it's like the main story quest and I've been falling behind on them. But like, you can do PvP sometime. Oh right, the TCG thing, right? That's next time I play, I'm definitely planning on doing the TCG. I'm very curious about I'm very curious about of what it's all about. But yeah, no, I just it's fun. It looks fun. It's like on one half I want to say, ah yes, I've been excited. I've been planning on playing TCGs all the time. On the other hand, I'm just like, oh dear, because I've never actually played one. It looks super fun. Excuse me. But yeah. Anyway, normally, like I was saying, normally
If you ever have any
I'd stick around for a bit longer. But unfortunately, I have to get up early tomorrow, like 6 or 7-ish. I forget exactly what time. Oh, but yes, unfortunately, I have to get up early tomorrow. And then I remembered that. And I was like, ah yes, I'll stream for 2 or 3 hours. And then I was like, wait, I'm supposed to be getting up at like 6 or 6:30. So alas, this one just ended very short. It's lots of fun. Oh my gosh, I have a cough for days. Yes, I'm glad you could stop by, even if it was only for a moment, Dawn. and and I'll definitely. I'm getting. Oh my gosh, there's just been so much going on lately that I could almost that I. Oh, there's just so much going on, and especially with it becoming Christmas, things aren't going to slow down. I have to steal time, but it's okay though. Yes, lots of stuff to do. World quest, so I can use whatever team. I mean standards. Yes, unfortunately, I have to end it here. I'll catch ya tomorrow. Bye. Just one last cough. I'll catch you next time.